with our joint power and our joint determination, we will defeat racism. It's an odyssey, not a day trip. Keep on fighting, we will win. Solidarity.
Thank you very much, Mariam. I'd now like to introduce our next speaker, who is the Vice President of Unison. Please give a warm welcome to Julia Mwaluke.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. My name is Julia. I'm Unison Vice President, coming from Manchester. The first things I want to send our solidarity from Unison to Diana Abbott. Diana has stood solid in her campaign against racism and sexism from day one. She was the first black woman MP, Blair Strela and other in the parliament, in town hall and wider society, and she fought for the oppressed. Now we must fight and stand with her. More than an MP, Diana has been receiving a vicious racism, but this week we see the hypocrisy and at the Tories, all of them at large. Frank Esther has made the biggest donation ever for Tory to receive total 10 million last year. For that, he has been government contract worth millions. Mostly in the NHS, David Cameron gave him OB. He knows which side his bread has been buttered. And that is wrong. It took Sunak 2 days to accept words were racist. 2 days. And he still kept the £10 million dirty money. That tells us everything we need to know about this bunch of entitled bigoted Tory and their boss mate. Sunak should hand back the money, cancel the contract, and take back the OBE. And Keir Starmer should restore the whip to Diana. Please. But of course, Sunak gave and gave all of them rest and made extremists, and once we talk, they call it hate speech. Only 2 weeks ago, Sunak stood at this lecture outside Downing Street condemning extremist mob and those threatening the safety of the MP. He was, of course, talking about us when we march and protest and calling for ceasefire in Gaza and against the racism for protection scheme and the mob, and we try to lobby and all them political leading, they accuse us of extremists. We know our strike and our picket line are the strongest because black and white workers and next to one another, we stand together. We know that when we win, it is when we can show who the real enemy is. Because the real enemy does not come to those chore and the plastic dignity. The real enemy are those who travel around the world. A trade union should always stand with the oppressed, whether it is people of Gaza, Diana Abbott, and our trans comrades. We stand and fight for the liberation of the better world. Solidarity to you and solidarity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm going to introduce our next speaker from Unite Executive Vice Chair, Pat Davis.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. We really appreciate your support today. I'm here for Unite. We live in a time when everyone talks about anti-racism and many are campaigning for race equality against all odds. When the government banished displaced people and refugees to derelict or a different country, when they create an environment where young black people are facing multiple attacks and are marked as criminal and drug gang members. The government claims they are tackling drug trafficking and protecting young people and their family, but in reality, they are stigmatizing, criminalizing black boys and young men. Our General Secretary, Sharon Graham, said that anti-racism education is vitally important, not only for societies in general, but specifically for trade unions. Racism injures workers and their families, and it undermines class unity. As trade unionists, we have long been fighting for race equality against the far right. Unite Unity Over Division campaign has gone from strength to strength to educate our officers, reps, and members about the dangers of the growth in the far right and the skill to challenge the narrative of hate in our workplace and community. We have worked with other sister unions at employers level and internationally. Black Lives Matters. Unite link with workers, uplifting in America and Canada to outline the deep, ongoing structural and institutional racism the Black and Asian members have been experiencing for decades, which was followed by a joint statement on the killing of George Floyd in police custody. The TUC Anti-Racism Task Force have made a collective commitment to the manifesto and to make a lasting impact on the economic and the social injustice of Black people. Collective bargaining on the race agenda, organizing public policy demanding better and leading by example. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here, not because we want to be here, but because we have a right to be here and we have to fight for everything that we want. We don't get nothing on our plate. From day one, we've been struggling. So, no matter what they say, we have a right and we are here to stay.
Thank you, Pat. I'd now like to welcome our next speaker, who is Rob Callender from Extinction Rebellion, and he's a climate debt campaigner.
Hi, everyone. Oh, it's very loud. Hi. A lot of people have been talking to you for a while, so I'm going to try and keep it very fast and brief. I spent a long time trying to work out what links all of the catastrophes we're facing right now, capitalism, climate change, racism, the cost of living crisis. And I realized what we're doing here today, this march against hate, gets right to the very root of it, because underneath it is caste. Underneath it is the oppression of one people for the domination of another. Caste created racism. Racism is a crucial pillar of the caste system that again and again puts one group over another. Blacks beneath whites, untouchables beneath Brahmins, queers beneath straights. Caste justified the extermination of the Jews and the sacrificing of the Palestinian people now. Caste comes from the worst possibilities in our natures, our greed, overcoming our humanity, which is what we have here coming together in a march against hate. Profited from slavery, industrialized on the backs of serfs, and developed capitalism. And capitalism built directly on this system with mills and steam engines and light bulbs, rubber, sugar, cotton and jewels. Capitalism, whose defenders say it brought mobility from the feudal caste system, actually created another series of castes, and it kept the old ones for when they would be useful, like now. The new caste of migrants, the new older caste of wage workers. Capitalism firmly places the greed for profit above humanity, the self-serving belief that profits will trickle down. And yet it is an extension of caste which ensures that nothing trickles down except for cruelty. It doesn't have to be this way, but I've heard no party talk about the alternative, not for a long while. The policies are a continuation of this same system, this racist caste system, which will ensure the coming of the far right, because none of them dare to go deep enough to get to the root, to be radical, to say the two C words, capitalism and caste, the two things we must root out. Instead, we get cynicism. Politicians scoring points against marginalised communities for a vote in the catastrophe Olympics. 1.7 degrees, 2 degrees. We're near the end of that now. It makes me so, so angry. It's us now who gives them legitimacy, us, our laws. But there is hope. We here coming together today, that is the hope. This march against hate, every single thing we do, we have to keep hope alive. We have to put humanity above profit and dehumanization. We have to be anti-racist. Together is how we build a world beyond caste and capitalism.
Thank you, Rob. No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! Thank you. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our next speaker. That really don't need no introduction. John McDonnell.
I'm here for one particular reason, because I want to stand in solidarity with my friend, my colleague, my comrade, Diane Abbott. Well, let me just say a couple of sentences, because whatever platform we're on this day, we need to also make it absolutely clear that the Palestinians of Rafah, now that Netanyahu has decided that they'll attack, they will be massacred, men, women and children. So on every platform, we should be demanding an immediate ceasefire and an end to the killings in Gaza. Let me tell you a very brief story. 45 years ago, almost to the day, we were marching in my community because a young Punjabi, a young Sikh man, Gurdeep Singh Kaga, had been killed. And we marched, and Blair Peach was killed, a young teacher, what is now described, killed in what was a police riot. And we marched again. Wonderful people, some of them are here, set up the Anti-Nazi League, and we pushed the racists back. And then Stephen Lawrence was killed. And we marched again and pushed them back. And subsequently to that, we mobilized against the far right. But we saw this week, it's not the far right that are the main enemy, it's the we have in government today. A government accepting money, funding from a racist. We're marching today against racism in the heart of our political system. This is dramatically different from what we've seen in the past. Therefore, we've got to make it absolutely clear what we're saying. No justice, no peace. But I tell you this as well. If the Labour Party wants to be seen as an anti-racist party, there is one simple step that could be done today, and that's Keir Starmer restoring the whip to Diane Abbott. Finally, let me say, Diane is an incredibly strong person. She said in an interview yesterday, she said, I'm nobody's victim. But I tell you, this sort of harassment, day in, day out, with the lack of solidarity from some sections of her own party, takes its toll. A tribute to the woman for her bravery, her courage, her determination and solidarity. Solidarity.
Thank you very much, John. And solidarity with Diane Abbott MP, we completely agree Keir Starmer should restore the whip. Our next speaker is here representing the Middle East and North Africa Solidarity Network. Please give a warm welcome to Khaled Sid Ahmed.
Comrades, it's an honor to stand before you today. I'm speaking on behalf of MENA Solidarity, a network of activists supported by the UCU and EU and PCS unions, which campaigns in solidarity with the struggles of people across the Middle East and North Africa for democracy and social justice. The destructive role of the British imperialism is clear from Palestine to Yemen, including in Sudan, my own country. In 2018, millions took to the streets in Sudan. Millions took to the streets in Sudan against the dictatorship, demanding freedom, peace, and justice. Workers' strikes and sit-ins spread nationwide. However, state forces, including the Sudanese army and the Rapid Support Forces militia, ruthlessly killed and tortured thousands and raped women. Despite this, imperialist powers, including the British government, pressured civilians to perform sharing arrangements with the same military that supported the dictatorship. Even when these military and militia leaders seized power in October 2021. On April 15, 2023, the fight between the army and the militia erupted and has led to tens of thousands of deaths and displaced over 8 million, destroying our infrastructure. The health and education systems collapsed, with facilities now used for torture. Famine now looms over the nation. What lies behind this war is competition over Sudan's rich resources. The UAE and Russians are involved in the gold robbing and clash with Americans over military bases. Regional powers eye on agricultural land to solve their food crisis stemming from the Ukrainian war. Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Israel and Iran are backing the warring parties. Brothers and sisters, the British government bears direct responsibility for the disasters which has engulfed in Sudan. Along with other European governments, it helped create Rapid Support Forces militia in order to manage migrations and to stop refugees reaching Europe. It also legitimized the Sudanese army and the generals who carried out the coup in 2021. Yet the same government now prosecutes Sudanese refugees who try to reach Britain by small boats across the sea and blocks the creation of humanitarian visa schemes, leaving families of British citizens trapped in Sudan's war zones. Let's be clear here. We have to say all refugees are welcome. We must stand together against hate, division, and promote those in power. Only through our unity and widespread revolutions can we dismantle the structures of the capitalist system surrounding us. Let's continue fighting. Let's continue marching. Let's continue building from below. We need millions on the streets. Comrades, your solidarity and support are crucial for us. Let's join the fight together. Every single one of you is important and vital for the fight and for the struggle against the shackle of imperialism. Let's fight together.
Woo! Say it loud, say it clear. Say it loud, say it clear. Thank you. I'm going to introduce our next speaker, Louis McNulty from Just Stop Oil.
Hey everybody, my name's Louis. Yeah, you might know me as that dickhead who locked his neck to a goalpost at a football match. Over the last 2.5 years, I've been arrested 23 times and I've done 8.5 months in prison for it. Because I cannot sit and watch as the elites through their colonialist oil empires decimate the global south and billions of lives. I believe those of us from more privileged demographics have a responsibility to stand up for those who can't. Those of you here who hold similar privilege, I ask you, where were you when my generation took a stand in defiance of our in defiance of genocide at the hands of the state? Where were you when we were disrupting sporting events, gluing to paintings and disabling oil terminals? Where were you when we were sent to prison in our hundreds for the sake of not wanting our generation to be wiped off of the map? And where will you be while we continue to fight for our generation's future? Will you sit and watch from the sidelines, or will you stand with us? The Holocaust showed what happens when good people fail to act in the face of a genocidal government. Will that be you too? I'm asking you to be guided by hope and courage in spite of your fear. Right now, Just Stop Oil is my generation's best hope of surviving the oncoming storm. And so I'm asking you, not for your support in words, but your support in action. And together, with your help, we will bring this government, this genocidal, racist system, to its fucking knees! Together, we are stronger than the sum of our parts. Together, we might just have a fighting chance for survival. Together, we will light the fires of and change the course of history. So next action phase, we're going to airports. Go to the Just Stop Oil website, come to a talk to find out more. I want to see all of you there. I want to stand with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Louis. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, who is here representing the Society for Anglo-Chinese Understanding. Please give a warm welcome to Iris.
Thank you. Dragon. Today, we bought a dragon to represent the cultural contribution of our society to Britain. This dragon is unknown from London Chinese Community Centre, just down the road. And never forget, Chinese culture has made a huge contribution, not just to Britain, but the whole of the West. And the same goes for all of the culture that we see here today. And London would not be a world-class city if it wasn't for all the citizens of the world who contribute to it. To the migrant, to the refugee, and the descendants. When Donald Trump called COVID the Chinese virus Kung Flu, xenophobia increased 300%. Shame on him! Shame! This week is the 3rd anniversary of the Atlantic shooting. 8 people died. 6 were Southeast Asian women. This is the reality of racism. This is the reality of racism. With Trump threatening to come back, we must stand our ground. This is why we need all of you. Together, we can beat the virus of all forms of racism. Stereotyping, scapegoating, attacks, hate crime, double standard must stop. Today, we march with members of the Society for Anglo and Chinese Understanding, friends and allies, and descendants of the dragon, saying, stand up to xenophobia! Stand up to racism against East and Southeast Asian! Stop racism! Stop the hate! We must reject racism and proudly say, we are one society with many cultures. And thank you.
Iris, we are one society, many culture, and we are here to stay. I'm going to introduce our next speaker. Stand up to racial officer Brian Richardson.
Comrades, you've already heard many great speeches, and I'm sure you want to warm yourselves up by marching and getting to the music. So let me be brief and just make 1 or 2 points and one request. At the beginning of this rally, you heard the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, and I'm sure that on this day, a day that is about commemorating the fight against racism, that many of you will remember the greatest words that he spoke when he talked about having a dream in which his children would live in a society where they're judged by the content of their character, not by the colour of their skin. Compare that dream to the dream of the woman who wants to be the next leader of the Tory party, Suella Braverman. Her dream to send a flight to Rwanda with refugees on it. Well, she never stayed to see that dream come true, did she? Why not? Why not? I'm proud that Stand Up to Racism, with Care for Calais, with PCS and with others, stood firm and made sure that they've not been able to send a flight to Rwanda. That is the power of organisation. That is what we can achieve when we stand together and when we organise, and that is why mobilisations like this one that we're involved in today matters. Let's mobilise and let's continue the fight, because we know we can never be complacent. That after today, we have to go back to our workplaces, our communities, our colleges, and renew the fight and the struggle, because we know we face a government that its only policy seems to be to try and pass that Rwanda plan. We know that we face a general election where racism will be front centre. We've heard this week, haven't we, as others have said, that the Tory party's campaign is being funded by a rotten racist. So we know we must go back and renew our determination to fight racism. So let's enjoy today, but let's renew our determination to go back and fight when we go back to our local communities. Finally, you know, it's a request on behalf of Stand Up to Racism. Events like this, stages like this, demonstrations like this, placards like the brilliant placards that you see, they cost us money. We need your money, so please dig deep into your pockets and give to the collection that we're having to fund Stand Up to Racism. Thank you, comrades. Enjoy the rest of the day and continue the fight.
Thank you very much, Brian. So as Brian said, we've got stewards going around with buckets, so if you could dig deep into your pockets and give us a donation, we'd be very grateful. And one more thing, we've got a couple of more speakers, then we'll be marching, and just to let you all know, we'll be marching that way, so you'll all have to turn around when we get ready to march. But we've got a couple of more speakers, and we've got our next speaker is a fantastic speaker. I'd like you all to give a very warm welcome to our next speaker, who's here representing the Stop the War Coalition, who I'm sure is very tired because she's been marching a lot over the last few months. But please give a very warm welcome to Lindsay German.
Thank you very much, Sabi, and it's really good to be here. We have the most racist government ever in Britain. And this general election is going to be the most racist election ever. And we have to organise to be prepared to fight against it. Our government is practising racism at home and racism abroad. The racism abroad, it is 100% supporting the Israeli government in its genocidal attacks on Palestine. It is arming Israel. It supports the whole imperialist project which props up Israel. And it refuses to even call for a ceasefire. So what does it do to try to justify its behaviour, to try to cover up the fact that most people in Britain do not support it and do want a ceasefire? It is attempting to criminalise and demonise not just the Palestinians, who are already treated as second-class citizens and as refugees are treated appallingly, but is also trying to demonise and criminalise our demonstrations, our protests, and the Muslim community in particular. And we have to stand up and say that is wrong. When you look at what has happened since October the 7th, there has been a big rise in racism. There has been a big rise in anti-Semitism and a big rise in Islamophobia. But there's one crucial difference between the two. Islamophobia is being driven by the government. It's being driven by the media. It's being driven by the politicians. Every single week we get an Islamophobic statement from one Tory politician. And Labour aren't much better. Their treatment of Diane Abbott is an absolute disgrace and just fuels racism all the time. So they are now saying that we are the extremists. One of the organisations, Muslim Association of Britain, that organises the big Palestine demonstrations, has been named by Michael in Parliament. He doesn't dare do it outside. He does it in Parliament to try to demonise them. We are with them as we are standing with the whole of the Muslim community. And I'd like to ask who the real extremists are. What about Frank Hester, who wants to black woman MP? What about Lee Anderson, who says that the Mayor of London, a Muslim, has given over the city to his mates? What about Suella Braverman, who is who brought out the fascists on the streets to try to attack our demonstration in November? These are the real extremists. The placards here today, if being against racism, if fighting racism, if defending refugees, if that is extremism, I am proud to be an extremist. And I think we be. One final point I'd like to make is this. We hear a lot about British values. You know, Lee wants to get his country back. Well, we are his country, not him. We represent the majority of people. But if we want to stand up for British values, what about the British value of fighting fascism? What about the British value of demonstrating? You are in a tradition today that goes back hundreds of years. We weren't allowed to join trade unions. We weren't allowed to have the vote. We weren't allowed to do any of those things. Now the suffragettes are celebrated for what they did, and we're told that's part of British values. But people doing exactly the same today are being criminalised and penalised. So let's stand up against racism, against fascism, against all forms of racism, but particularly in defence of the Muslim community. Let's stand together. Solidarity, everybody.
Thank you. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our next and last speaker, Dr. Saeed Bilan from Dawn, UK, the Niger Association in the UK.
Good afternoon. I'm bringing you the salutation and the greetings of Niger people. Niger or Niger is very often confused with Nigeria, but different. It was ruled by French, imperialism. Niger has been exploited, impoverished by France for the last 64 years. And Niger is portrayed as one of the poorest countries in Africa. But don't be surprised, Niger is the richest country in West Africa, one of the biggest countries. We have uranium, we have gold, we have all what you can imagine. But that country is suffering. Can you imagine to be discriminated against, to be refugees in your own country? Why? Because they implemented, they brought local, corrupt politicians who are not working for people, but are they just there to defend the interest of French imperialism. So today, Niger has freed himself, people stood up, and everyone, despite all the differences, people are now united to fight against racism, against discrimination. Racism doesn't exist. It's a social construct. There is only one human race, which is the human race. There are no... We should fight, we should unite and promote humanism, because that's the way forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are you guys ready to march? Are you guys ready to march? Are you guys ready to make your voices heard in the streets of London? Who's street? Who's street?
Our street!
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 You're right, I can't hear you guys. I know that people are fasting a bit quiet, but the one I'm not fasting, you need to get your voices a bit louder.
That way, right.
Say it loud, say it clear. 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 Thank you.
deportation.
Stop deportation! No borders, no nations!
Stop deportation.
No borders, no nations!
Stop deportation.
No borders, no nations!
Stop deportation.
No borders, no nations!
Stop deportation. Stop deportation. Stop deportation. Refugees are welcome here. Refugees are welcome here.
I believe that we will. I believe that
Win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe.
welcome here. Stop the hate. Stop the fear. Stop the hate. Stop the fear. Stop the hate. Stop the fear. Stop
deportation. This is what democracy looks like. 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 This is what democracy. Paphos. deportation! Stop deportation! No more deportation! There are many, many more than you. Many, many more than you. Many, many more. Many, many more. Many, many more. Refugees are welcome here.
Deportation! Report! Fuck the man! Fuck the state! Fuck the man!
Welcome. stop smiling. Make some noise for Yasmin Lacey in the house! Yasmin! Yes, we can. Make some noise for Daniel Comedian now. Jam Supernova on her way. Make some noise for Jam! On the Radio 1 crew, Danny House, make some noise! Hannah Holland in the house. Adonis crew in the house. London Faggotry in the house. Big up yourself, our big down sister. Give it up, big love to Dave Horry. Big love, Chris Cruzy. Chris Cruz and Shanti Celeste coming in back-to-back action. Playing not for the glory, but for the fight against racism and prejudice. Music brings you together. Stand up to racism joining us. Stand up to racism is joining us. We're here for you. We're here for you. We are here for Black Lives Matter. We are here to stand up to racism. Coming up, we've got a speech from Chantal from Black Lives Matter. Chantal from Black Lives Matter coming up. Giving you the word. Yes, Black Lives Matter. Yes, 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 yes. Make some noise. Make some noise! Down. Please, will you make some big noise now for Al from Black Lives Matter? Yes! Wilson Douglas, when I say Black Lives, you say matter! Black Lives! Black Lives! When I say Diana, you say matter! Diana, when I say refugees, you say matter. Refugees, refugees. And when I say working class, you say matter. The working class, the working class. Let's go. Well, if you want me to carry on, I'm going to say a few words now. Big up to everyone for coming out. Big up to everyone for marching. Big up to everyone for ignoring that tool Rishi Sunak who wants to label us all as extremists. For standing up for what's right. We want to call out our free speech when we're saying cease. We want to facilitate hate speech. Is that right? That's not right. I wanted to draw your attention to a Malcolm X quote. What he said was the most disrespected woman was the black woman. He said the most unprotected woman was the black woman. The most neglected woman was the black woman. And I don't think that's been more evident in this country than over the past few months. Luco, a black football player and punter, bullied by bloody Joey Morgan and his gang that feel about control to the point that he needs the country to feel safe. Is that right? Is that right? We've got a woman in Liverpool, where I'm from, who should have been getting treatment from the NHS, being ignored and labelled difficult because she was a black woman who was dying. They called it cultural bias. We call it institutional racism. Is that
people, migrants, refugees are treated daily by an increasingly far-right narrative, and yet they want to call us extremists. If you want to deal with hate speech, then start with the hate speech happening in the party, occupying Downing Street right now.